This is not a conversation about today. This is a conversation about what impact this time in our lives is going to have on this generation and what this generation's impact is going to be going forward.
The kids these days are not all right, as we've heard from them by actively listening to some of the struggles that they've experienced during the pandemic. The CDC published a report highlighting that more than 1/3 of high school students are reporting mental health as a problem. Our kids spend a lot of time in school, but they also spend a lot of time at home. Both environments matter to their mental health and well-being.
One of the main things that I'm seeing in the work that I'm doing now is that there's a disconnect in the home. Teenagers are feeling like they're not heard by their parents and that there's no understanding. I saw a lot of teens isolating and going within themselves.
One of the things that I've noticed is they don't know what normal is anymore. Their routines are different. Their expectations that they have now are different. The way that they're engaging with other kids are different.
Even though it's always been there, I think that COVID has definitely put everything in the forefront. And so you have dysregulated parents raising dysregulated children, and we have a cycle that continues.
Our kids had to look at this trauma for 2 years and not have any outlet to deal with that trauma. What's going to happen to that generation once they become adults?
While teens are back in school, many have forgotten how to socialize in person. During the pandemic, their only way to interact with their peers was through social media and technology. Social media connects teens but can also be a breeding ground for bullying and social exclusion.
I call it the social media pandemic. And the virus is likes. It becomes a traumatic event
If you don't have enough.
if you don't get enough likes.
This narrative that we're presenting a lot of times on social media is creating this imagined kind of reality for these kids. They're making a connection with a story, not a person.
It's really a communication thing. You and I can have a conversation all day long and we're communicating, but do you understand? Do you have the empathetic element to it to understand this is how I feel?
And not showing up to like fix, control, or change, but to listen, learn, and understand.
Everybody learns by modeling. They don't learn by what just you say, it's what they see on a regular basis. So how are we communicating?
We are pouring into them. So if we're empty, if we're toxic, right? If we have things that we're still dealing with, that's gonna come out in how we're communicating with our kids.
For me and my kids, it hit me. He is now 15, and he told me that sometimes you try to give me advice, and I don't need the advice. I just want you to listen.
Yeah.
They want to feel like we respect them. They want to feel like we care about what they're going through. Giving children a voice that doesn't feel judgmental, that doesn't feel like you're gonna attack whatever they're saying, and it's literally, I just want to hear how you're processing. I don't have to fix anything. I'm not here to correct anything. I just want to understand how it is that you're processing. That creates a conversation that creates comfort.
We have to give care and consideration to how COVID has impacted parents and the toll it's taking on educators. These are the people who are taking care of our kids. If they're not well, it's hard for our kids to be well too.
The unfortunate truth is that we're not pouring enough into our teachers. Our teachers are not prepared for any of this. Because you can't deal with this kid's emotional stuff if you're still dealing with trauma, dealing with anxiety, dealing with all of these things, right?
Every school needs to have an element of mindfulness incorporated into the curriculum.
Including mental health counselors, therapists, and trainers in the school systems so that a child knows, okay, if I'm having a moment, I'm not just gonna go to the bathroom and just have a self-isolated moment. I'm gonna go and talk to my guidance counselor, or I'm gonna have a peer. It's that ability to connect and relate.
When you think of the whole school system, it's children, the administration, teachers, and parents.
Yep.
I worked with the children, I trained the teachers, and then I had parent workshops in the evenings to ensure that everything was being reinforced.
Teaching young people meditation has been one of the really strong solutions. How to meditate and find your center. And have an inner dialogue that's peaceful.
Find the low-hanging fruit. If they're into video games, cool. Like play a video game with them, have a conversation while you're playing the video game. My youngest son, he likes to go for a walk. We do a 1.5-mile loop and have amazing conversations. This whole like, you have to present this picture that everything is great. No, it's not. Like you can be honest with your kids. Like you can let them know what's happening. And I think there's a certain symbiotic relationship that starts to develop.
Years ago, someone sent me this acronym for love. Listen, observe, validate, and empathize.
I love that.
And if you are able to listen, observe, validate, and empathize with any teen in your life, it's virtually impossible that you're not going to see the result of it in a very positive and tangible way.
Fundamentally, parents can't take away their teen's stress, but they can help them cope and access their own inner strength and emotional intelligence. Join us next time as we focus on collaborative coping strategies based in mindfulness, problem solving, and resilience.